Hi there, Janet Fritz here for Galaxy Girl Creations. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to another day of Kit Conspiracy. These last few days of Kit Conspiracy, as it is a new week, but it's not a full week, so we don't have a full kit. I am just sharing a few extra layouts that I was able to do with the kits that we used earlier in the month. So this was a layout that I did the first week of the month, which was using the Simple Stories Simple Vintage Farmhouse collection. And the photos are from the same event. These are not photos of baby cows today, which, you know, I've been told they're also called calves. No, actually, I already knew that. But, you know, I don't know why we call them baby cows, but that's what they are. So I am using a stencil from the Crafters Workshop. It is a 12 by 12 stencil called Chicken Wire Reversed. And I love this stencil. I don't use it a lot, but I love using it when I get the opportunity to, and I have something that I think it will work well with. So this is a group of us. 3 of these ladies are my friends that I have scrapbooked with for at least a decade. We have known each other for ages, and the other 2 are, of course, MK and her bestie from her town, and her name is Janae, so shout out to Janae. And then you might be wondering what's going on with the blonde friend there in the front. Well, she ended up getting a bloody nose on our last day, and we kind of waited, and we're like, you know what, at some point we have to leave, and everybody's done packing up, so we're just going to go ahead and take the picture. It was really her choice. She's like, let's just take the picture, it's fine. And she's a really good sport about it. I did ask her if it was okay if I used this photo on my channel and in social media, and she was like, yep, go for it. It's life. And so I really appreciate that. So shout out to my friend Maureen for being so awesome. The other 2 friends there are Janie and Lynn. So shout out to you guys too. So Lynn is no longer local. She actually lives closer to Lovelock than she does to San Jose, where I am at. But it seems like I see her more now than I did when she was local. So it's been awesome that we are able to still scrapbook together so often. And this was a really fun trip. And I wanted to go ahead and just document how blessed I am to have such awesome friends. So I've got these 2 photos. I am just going through a bunch of the ephemera. I really liked the yellow paper there. I also liked this die cut piece, but I really didn't want the piece of it that says humble and kind. I mean, my friends, I guess you would call them humble and kind. They are very kind. I don't know about how humble, but I wanted it to say something different. And so I basically just cut out that part of the phrase, and I'm going to substitute the word grateful in there, because I am grateful for having such wonderful friends, and they really make a huge difference in my life. And I feel very blessed and honored to know them. So I am just making my embellishments work for me. And that is a foam sticker that I am sticking underneath there, and it's much larger, so I'm just cutting the edge of it off. And then I'm going to add a little bit of foam to help support the rest of the die cut, because obviously I can't just put this one piece of foam under where the words go and not add any more foam, because then it would not be supported. So I'm going to add a little bit more foam to that once it dries. I do need to make sure it dries really well first, and as you can see there, I'm trying to get my finger off of it so that it can dry without me having to sit there and hold it. So my tweezers come to the rescue. As always, I do love tweezers for this purpose. And while that dries, I'm going to go ahead and ink up everything with some black distress ink. I also really liked that word blessed that you see there. That is also a foam sticker, but it is huge, you guys. Like, okay, it doesn't look that huge on camera, but as an embellishment, it's really big. So I'm going to use it as part of my title, because I felt like it's just too big to use as a general embellishment cluster. And then I was also trying to figure out what words I could make out of all of the little letters at the top of the screen there. And like, I thought I could make the word lovely. I could make the word family. I wasn't really sure what I was going to use. I didn't realize that there's actually a few more letters that are sitting in the pile to the left of my layout. Probably would have been able to figure out something even better if I had if I had looked there, because I don't end up actually using any of the letters because I couldn't make a word that I really wanted to have on my page. Like I thought about using the word lovely, but I don't really use that word a lot in life except sarcastically. And so I didn't want it to be like, oh, these are my lovely friends. I wanted it to actually be sincere. So I decided not to use it because I didn't want it to sound insincere because that's not normally how I would use the word. So I am going to end up using the word blessed and friends, and I think it works out perfectly for this layout. I am creating a little bit of a cluster down here on the bottom left-hand side just to complete everything. I've got a cluster, as you can see there, with that little wreath thing where it says grateful. And then I've got one to the upper right of the photos. That is going to move, and it doesn't move until the very end. I'm going to end up bringing all of that down closer to the title, which is going down here at the bottom of the layout. Because right now, with the title, I've got 4 clusters, and it just is not balanced. It doesn't look right. And I kept looking at it going, something is not right. And I couldn't really put the title up in a different spot. It didn't fit right. And so I'm going to bring that whole cluster down and have it extend from the title, and it looks so much better, you guys. So I kind of played around down here for a bit, not really finding the right combination of items that were going to work well for me. So try a few different things, and I left this portion in here. Sometimes I will cut out a lot of my sitting around tapping my fingers, but I felt like it was kind of good to leave this in because I want you guys to know that, in life this happens. Like, we don't always know exactly how we're going to put this whole thing together before we start. And sometimes the struggle is real for us too. Just because we have a YouTube channel doesn't mean it's easy all the time. You can see over on the left-hand side there's a whole bunch more of those letters. Boy, I wish I would have thought to look over there earlier because I might have used some of them. But anyway, it all works out. So I did really like this little banner that has the movement in it. I don't know, movement's probably not the right word. It does create a little bit of a movement feel to the layout, having it go up and down. And so that is what I mean by movement. It has that little sway to it. And then I'm going to bring in some of these little plaid hearts, and I really like the way that those end up looking. I'm just trying to figure out one for that wreath area. The yellow one didn't look quite right, so I need to bring in a black and white one. And I still think that I'm going to keep that cluster up in the upper right hand corner at this point, but I know something's not right and I need to fix it, basically. I do bring in some little word stickers there. I like the way that that's looking. And I am going to ink the whole thing again in Black Soot Distress ink, which is what I almost always use. It is one of my favorite ways to create depth and dimension on my layouts and give things their own little pop. So the black pretty much stays on my desk all the time, you guys. It's my go-to. And so here is where I finally figure out if I move all of this down, it's going to look a lot better. So I just peel everything up and bring it down. Luckily, I hadn't adhered anything with liquid glue. And so it was easy enough to pop off and just bring it down lower. And so I'm much happier with the way that looks. I did add a little dimension underneath a couple of the leaves there by putting a little bit of foam under them. And now I've added a little liquid glue, so things are really stuck down now and they aren't going to be moving anymore. So my title there reads Blessed Friends Gather Together, and the gather together is on that little yellow swag piece. Pretty happy with the way that looks. And then I did bring in a yellow butterfly over there just to bring a little bit more pop of the yellow up into the layout. And I think it's perfect because I wasn't really sure what I was going to be able to use with this particular photo because it's got like every color under the sun. I've got pink on, a couple of the gals have blue. My friend Lynn has red, but MK has that yellow sweater, and she's right dead center, and then the background has those neutral tones, so it worked out great. And then this pattern paper also brings in a little bit of red and green, and so that worked out. I hope you enjoyed this video, you guys. Thanks so much for watching. I'll be back again tomorrow with another video. Go check out what MK has up on her channel today. I can't wait to see what she's made from her leftovers in her kits. And come back and check us both out tomorrow for even more inspiration while we finish up Kit Conspiracy, you guys. Thanks for watching. See you then. Bye-bye.